My name is PB Teo. I'm the Director of Engineering. I lead a team of very senior design architects for electrical and mechanical. I enjoy my work tremendously. I've been at Motorola for 29 years now.
Hi, my name is Narayanan. I've been with Motorola for about 21 years, a little junior to my colleague PB Teo here. My role is to ensure that the various facets of the engineering organizations are working together concurrently, integrally, to provide solutions to the customers. You know what, I have been in Motorola for more than 21 years, but my God, when I go back, I graduated way back in 1982, and you've been in engineering for a long time too. What made you so keen on taking engineering as a profession?
Somewhere around, I think it was Form 2 or Form 3, I've decided even at that point that I would take up electronics. Even when younger, somewhere in the primary school, I did something really silly. Right? I read about making electromagnets, so I caught some wire over a piece of metal and plugged it into the wall. I nearly burned the house down. I've been fortunate. I've met many friends who didn't know what they wanted to study, whereas I had no such problems.
My passion for engineering, I think, started a lot younger. When I was around 4 or 5 years old. I think my very first, I remember the birthday present my father bought me was a plain electrical, those that has the green, red lights. It was a Lufthansa or something like that. So I got very fascinated by things that were moving and putting things together. But my biggest problem was that whenever things got wrong, I also wanted to repair it. Strangely enough, although I always inherently had that interest to go into engineering, as I went through the school, life and so forth, it's quite different in the sense of what you do in school in terms of science and maths and so forth. For me, I couldn't really link it up back to what my passion was and so forth. And as I went into the degree course and so forth, I think, it started, gelling together.
Right.
This is what is engineering. Engineering is not just putting things together and repairing things. It's much more than that. And I think that's what the engineering course gives you as a basis. So that's how I got so passionate into engineering, and that's why I'm here.
So my first job ended up in a small factory in Kulim, General Electric. They make clock radios. I don't get to do design work. I don't get to do those kind of engineering work. So I was pretty bored for about a year. And then this advertisement showed up in the papers. Motorola was hiring, and they wanted R&D engineers. So I said, wow, okay, maybe this is something that's a little more interesting than making sure that temperature of the solder is correct every day. And the interesting thing was, before I accepted the offer, I went back to my boss in my current factory back then and asked him what he thought about this job in Motorola. He said, oh, you must go. What? Then I realized he used to work in Motorola in the same R&D center. And he said, that's the place to go learn. That's the place you would want to be.
Around 1991, I felt that I wanted to make sure that I have the industry experience, and I came for a break from the UK to Malaysia. I saw some advertisements like what you saw from Motorola, and I said, wow, Malaysia also has an R&D, and I just came for a walk-in interview, and after several hours I got a job. But I felt that, I think the 5 or 6 years in the academic world was very good, built up my foundations, built up my theory and so forth, but more importantly is the fact that the ability to stand up and communicate to the 200 students and without any kind of inhibition I think that those strengths, I think, are those that have helped me a great deal over the years in industry. The career for me, I think has been very challenging too. So I learned a lot of stuff by moving around in different functions in different areas and so forth. But it also comes a time, sometimes you're in such a comfort zone, you get into a plateau situation. You gotta check and balance these things. You gotta work with your senior, leadership and say, are you in the right direction? So I think over the years, I've gone through 6 or 7 managers. I think you've gone through a few managers too. We gotta seek, sometimes feedback from them, and you gotta be acutely aware that career, career as a focus. It's not just your manager telling you what to do. It's you have to take control of it with the help of the managers. What were the challenges in terms of acquiring talents at BB? What do you think?
I think at least in our environment, our kind of work is not common. We do design, we do circuit design, and so we look for people with the right fundamentals, people who are curious about engineering. So one of the things that when I was interviewing engineers, I don't do that much nowadays, was to have the candidates explain to me their projects. Tell me why you did this thing. Why didn't it work? What was your theory? What was the engineering theory that bears upon your project to explain why certain things worked or did not work? And those were the things I was looking for, someone who could use engineering knowledge in a very practical way, who have a good grasp of the concepts. Not just an equation, because the equation doesn't give you a qualitative understanding of the problems that you face.
You're absolutely right. I think in our kind of environment, I guess for that matter, in any kind of engineering environment, I think the fundamentals are very important. The ability to apply the fundamentals to reality. The other thing that I think you would agree that I always look forward to, and sometimes my bad habit that I try to make some decisions on some people, is their attitude, their behavior. Because at the end of it, when we interview people with a certain grades and above, I do believe that they got the technical aspects sorted out. More importantly is the attitude and the willingness to learn, the willingness to apply what they've learned in a more productive way is for me very, very important. And I think those are some of the things that I look forward to, and I think you agree on that too.
Yeah, the other thing is this thing about interest and passion in engineering. Yes. We do so much engineering here. If you are not interested in engineering, then life here will be very boring. So we look for people who are interested in engineering, people who want to fiddle with things, people who take engineering concepts and engineering principles and say, I want to make things work with this. And those are the kind. It's getting a bit rarer nowadays. People seem to take a course because they don't know what else to study. But if we could find these people, these are the kind of people we would be very interested in. Right. People who are interested in doing engineering.
I think we want to continue to encourage this passion among engineering communities, engineering students. And one of the things you would probably agree is the fact that whenever I go out or travel, and even the airports, and in any kind of environment, I always look forward to, that's my product. That's the one that PB and I worked on, and I get really, really impressed about it. I'll tell you a short story. I was with Telencop 2 years ago, and we had a career talk at Imperial University. I was giving this career talk not just specifically on Motorola, across electronics industries and so forth. And I gave, just because I was more familiar with Motorola, and I said that, you folks all come from London, isn't it? You see the London Met Police, they carry something on their shoulders, that mission critical device. Do you know where it was done, designed and developed? Back in Penang. So that got excited. The fact that you make some things and you see it used up front there, it gives you the little goose pimples at times. So you got to encourage more and more of these things so that people get more passionate about it.